Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How do you all do today?
We didn't just get in here like 2 minutes ago.
No, not at all.
We're very prepared. And I'm not just now eating my breakfast.
Jen, you're supposed to eat your breakfast before you... now.
Before
Before earlier than now, probably.
Sectorix. Thank you for the follow.
Alright, I got my sweet custom Justarin Terminators, which we're going to prime up. These are a cool little kit bash, including some OG Justarin arm weapons. And
this is not the same game, or is it the same game?
It's the same game.
Oh.
This is just there's a specific model that you can buy from Forge World that are these models, but they're like $80 to $100 for 5 of them.
That's kind of silly.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. So I was like, I'll buy the weapon, because you have to buy the bodies, which are like $80, 80 pounds.
Oh, is this the one that, where you were talking about the other day, where you have to, they don't come with arms, so you gotta buy arms for them.
It's these ones.
Oh my gosh.
So I bought the arms, and then I was like, I'm just gonna make them from the regular bodies. Because, I can just do that. That's not a big deal. So I had a friend of mine sculpt the shoulder pads for me.
Oh, cool.
And then I bought the weapons and the arms, and I was like, well, I'll just kit bash them with the regular kit.
Fun.
Yeah.
Quicksilver Gaming, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub for 24 months.
Why, thank you, sir.
Different when I go to the gym midday, able to watch the entire stream. Awesome.
Heck yeah. Welcome.
Feels doubly good, I bet. The good feeling you get post-gym, and then the excitement of watching BJ paint.
We're going to have a fun...
And Jason eventually. He'll be here.
We're going to have a fun little kind of game plan for today. I'm going to be blasting out some of these models to get them very far along. So you're going to see me do kind of another episode of speed painting with Baby J. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do another test with some not oil wash. Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun. I want to test a couple more ways to apply it. Different mixes, things like that. Got to put it through all its paces before it gets out into your guys' hands. Make sure that we got the best product possible.
Not Earl.
It ain't Earl.
Not Earl Wash.
It ain't an Earl Wash.
Our our accountant, CFO, finance guy is named Earl.
Yeah.
And now, it's different for me when I talk to him.
Have you told him about that joke?
Earl Wash. No, we haven't seen him.
You should tell him about that joke next time he's in.
I don't know if he's coming here today or if we're meeting with him.
Oh yeah, because it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
He's very friendly. I don't think he plays any games.
No, but he doesn't need to, and that's the best part.
No, Siobhan said, does Earl have a list he has to complete? A list, like an army list? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, for me? Wait, what?
Does Earl have a list? Never mind.
No.
Blame the schools. GW prices are insane. Forge World even more so. Personally, I blame the schools.
You know what's really unfortunate about Forge World? I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. If you buy direct from Forge World, okay, you get the prices in pounds. You buy from the US, or you buy via their US-based online store, which will ship from the UK to the US, and it's in dollars.
Okay.
If you convert pounds to dollars, it is 30% cheaper to buy direct from Forge World, even with the conversion, than it is to buy from the US store.
So they probably have to set a price because the rates change daily. I mean, even like multiple times a day. The value of the pound.
Not 30% difference.
No,
though. Yeah.
but they're padding it to make sure that they're not going to lose money if something happens. Probably that would be my guess. At
it's
least.
pretty unfair as a consumer to have to pay a 30% increase.
Well, and also though no, you said it ships directly from the UK.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it ships from the UK.
Maybe they're anticipating taxes. I have no idea.
But you don't have to pay taxes on outbound.
Oh no,
right?
I mean.
Because you don't pay VAT on stuff going out, though.
Consumer, maybe they're adding it into the shipping. I have no idea. I won't even try and...
It's really odd.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because, like, what I've done is I'll just go use a courier service I'll get it shipped to the courier service, and then I'll just have them ship it to me.
Won't your
and
bank,
it's still
though,
cheaper.
potentially also have fees for the conversion?
Use
you
PayPal.
Can send stuff in...
Yeah, use PayPal.
Oh, you PayPal.
And PayPal doesn't charge you. I mean, they charge you like a pretty minuscule fee.
I don't ever buy anything from.
But when you're buying something that's
US,
like $80 and they charge you $120 in US, you're like, what the heck is this garbage?
Yeah. Well, but I mean, if you think about it, like Canadian resellers sell our products for more.
Yeah, but that's because they're.
That's true. Their
dollar is devalued compared to ours, and our dollar is devalued compared to theirs.
It's not my business.
Yeah,
I
but
don't care what they do.
But the thing is, after you do the conversion from pound to dollar, and you compare the $2 prices between U.S. order and theirs, it's literally a 30% difference.
Yeah. Maybe they're just thinking
nuts.
dumb Americans aren't going to figure it out. That's probably most likely.
Yeah, probably.
Siobhan, and I remember that show, but not any details about it. It was so long ago. It feels like it was so long ago.
Oh, speaking of shows, have you decided to forego For All Mankind?
We weren't home last night, so we didn't watch TV. But I don't really have a whole lot of interest in it. Yeah. Personally. It might be a show Jason watches, but...
So what about it kind of killed the interest for you?
I don't really care about NASA. Or space exploration. So...
That's fair.
So
as like, even as a historical thing, you care a lot less about it? Yeah.
Yep. Just like, I like history, but I'm not interested in like...
certain eras of history.
Samurais, that kind of stuff doesn't interest me. I'm very particular. I like what I like.
Yeah, because you said you particularly enjoy like early America's history, right? That was the one I remember you at least telling me that you liked.
I definitely am more interested in American history than other world history, with the exception of like the Middle Ages in Europe.
Okay.
Hi, Coxie. Sorry, I'm done eating now.
What did you get to snack on?
Well, it was my breakfast.
Oh.
Scones.
Oh, from Starbucks?
No, from my house.
Oh.
From Safeway, actually.
Oh, okay. I was like, you made scones from scratch?
No, I'm not Ted Lasso.
Awesome.
They,
oh my gosh.
I
want to try those biscuits so bad.
So, I found these scones at Safeway.
Uh-huh.
And in my mind, they are the scones or the biscuits that he makes for Rebecca every day.
Oh, really?
Because it just seemed like when I take a bite, it's not these because they were out of the ones I like, so I had to get a different kind. But when she takes a bite out of it, when she decides that she really likes it, or like, she's trying to keep it secret from him that she really likes it, the look on her face, I feel like is how I look when I take a bite of these.
Yeah.
So in my head, even though I know hers aren't flavored, the ones I like are like toffee flavored or something like that. In my head, they are the same.
I mean, that's
So-
awesome. That's funny.
They're really, really good. And they were out, so I had to get blueberry,
Oh, that's.
which are also good, but they're not the same.
I like
They
blueberries.
don't remind me of the Ted Lasso ones.
I happen to really enjoy. So I really like fair scones, a lot.
You like what?
Fair scones. Have you ever had those before? There's you can get them in a box from the grocery store, and they're literally just called fair scones. They're in kind of like a red and white, bannered.
Is that the brand? Fair?
I don't know what the exact brand is. Somebody in chat probably knows. But if you Google fair scones, it'll probably pop up. And they are amazing. They're so quick and easy to cook. And they're delightful.
I don't know about this.
You make them fresh. All you need to add is water. It's literally just,
Fair?
yeah, like going to the fair.
Going to the fair. Okay. Fair scone. Oh, I see that they're from, what's that city in Washington that is hard to pronounce?
Puyallup.
Puyallup.
Yes.
Puyallup Fair Scones.
Yep.
Oh, it's a recipe.
Oh, do they have the actual recipe? Because they make it like
Well, then
pre-boxed mix.
Fisher
Fair Scones.
Okay,
Yes.
Fisher is the brand.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
They're super good. I highly recommend if you like scones, like
I don't
plain
know
scones.
If you could buy those here.
Huh?
If you can buy them here.
You can. I've seen them in the grocery store.
You have?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just not in like the
They're in
maybe
like
the breakfast.
The
section.
breakfast
Okay.
baked goods, like where you buy the flour and stuff is typically
Okay,
where they're at.
okay. Not not the
They're-
actual.
No,
bakery
no,
where
no,
they
they're not in
bake
baked
them at the
goods.
store.
It's just a box of mix that you buy.
Okay.
And you literally just add water, knead the dough a little bit.
Oh, so is the
Cut it
mix?
into quarters?
They're not pre. Okay.
They're
It's
not
a
pre-made.
mix.
You have to
gotta
make them.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
it takes like 10 minutes because it's a pre-made mix. So
Gotcha.
I love to have them on a weekend when I like sleep in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just make them and I have them with butter and jam. Is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Honey is good on them too. Like butter and honey is really, really good. But they're super good. And the key is my marker for what a good scone is something that has that kind of like breakaway feel or flavor. Is really good. There used to be like when I was working at Privateer, when we worked in Maltby, there was the Maltby Cafe, which is right across the street from where we were. Because it's like a teeny tiny little town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's they made the most amazing scones I've ever had.
Die.
Yeah, excuse me. They're huge though.
Yeah, scones are weird because like if they're too hard and like dry. I don't
Nope,
like that.
no. A
And
good
these-
scone,
These
moist.
are a little cakey. The
Yeah,
ones
they
that
have to
I
be a
get.
little
Yeah,
cakey,
little
for sure.
cakey.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have to almost crumble a little bit when you pull them apart.
Yeah, potentially, Siobhan. It just depends on the sugar content that you want your dog to have. Coxie, we don't do Discord during stream unless it's a challenge review day, and even then we're not in Discord, right? It's a PowerPoint.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we do it here.
So after stream, for sure, I'm sure that Jordan could look at your picture.
Yeah, did you have like a
Speaking
question
for
about
Jordan.
something in Discord?
Just said, would you be able to check my whip in the Discord as I need some help?
Yeah.
Is it what specific channel is it in? Is it in the whip? Probably, I would assume the whip channel.
Yeah, send me a message on Discord to remind me so I see it.
It's in Hobby Help. Okay.
And then I will get to it in Hobby Help for sure.
Okay. Is it going to be easy to find? Is your name in Discord the same as it is here? Omicron, hello.
Hi, Omicron.
Xenophonetic said just watched a YouTube video where a historian reacts to Warhammer armor and weapons. Oh, like, I don't get it. Like, the realism of them? Like, he looks at it like, that would never work. Kind of thing? Putsy, the scones that Jordan is talking about come in a box. It's a mix, and apparently you can get it at the grocery store.
Yep.
In, like, the baking aisle. If you go to the cake mix aisle, that's probably where you would find it.
Yep.
I would guess.
Yeah, cake mix aisle. All of that should still be where all the flour and stuff is at in your grocery store as well. I've seen them all over the place, so it's definitely like not a regional thing.
Okay. Coxie said, this is the message if you can help now. And no, I'm Nathan. Any guide for color help on half and half skin tone, either side, purple, oh my gosh, purple, magenta, one side, purple and magenta on one side, blue on the other side.
Oh, I saw this in
You know this?
Discord.
Okay.
I saw
You know
this
what
in
it's- okay.
Discord. Yeah.
The scones, Putsy, the scones I'm talking about are from just my local grocery store. They come in a little plastic box. I don't know the brand name though, but they're really good. Sectrix said, what's a good way to seal minis but still retain shine of metals?
The way I like to do that is I'll use a matte varnish, and then before I finish highlighting my metallics, and then I will go back and do edge highlights with my brightest metallics. After the matte varnish.
And thank you. We're very glad that you're happy with the pro samples.
And yes, was it Coxie? Yes, yeah. I am Baby J in Discord. You will see my name on the right under the Exalteds.
Who's Jason?
That seems like an odd question.
No. Mo said, where is Jason? And I said, who's Jason?
Where is Jason? Who is Jason?
Who's Jason? Who are you talking about?
Of all the people here, Jen, you should know who Jason is.
Who are you talking about, Mo?
We don't have a Jason here.
Jason is on a call right now. I believe he'll be here.
Yeah, assuming that call is not 2 hours long.
Assuming the call doesn't take 2 hours. He might tell you about it when he gets here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not on the call with him, so.
We'll see. I do know what the call is about, and it is very cool.
Yes.
I'm excited about it.
Whether or not he wants to talk about it is up to him. What, Mo? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh. That's an old reference. I gotcha. No.
That's an old reference.
He still exists. We're not going to be on Dateline yet.
Oh, no.
What?
Mo, why would they be on Dateline? This is not what we want.
It took me a second, Mo. It's been a while. Is it a call about the time in 1998 when The Undertaker threw Mankind off of Hell in a Cell onto the Spanish announcer table?
I don't believe so.
No?
It might come up, but I don't think so.
You never know when that's going to come up. You never know. Zeno, that's another one. You never know. I feel like it's been quite a while, Siobhan, since I've said those words. So what tomato? That's exactly what my thought was too. And then I remembered. That Mo's been here for a long time.
Yeah, Mo's been around for a minute or two.
For those of you who don't get it and who are thinking something dirty, get your mind out of the gutter. But for some context, I used to be a school teacher. We talked about this a lot. As a teacher, I want my students to be able to have supplies to be able to do the work that I assign to help them learn. But supplies are very difficult, so every year I would have a little box for each table of desks that had pencils and post-it notes and markers and scissors and all kinds of different things that they would need. And I bought those things with my own money, as teachers
Which is insane to me, by the way.
As teachers usually
for the
do.
record.
So when I left teaching, I knew I was not going to go. Well, I didn't know I wasn't going to go back. I knew I was leaving that particular school, that particular district. I didn't know if someday I might be teaching again. So anything that I had personally bought with my own money, I took with me.
You took with you?
Yes.
Were they like, why are you taking all this stuff?
No, that's not it at all. They didn't even know half the stuff I had probably. But the story that comes back to where we are now is that at my house, in my desk, there was a drawer that had numerous pairs of scissors, probably a dozen pairs of scissors.
Okay.
And when I first met Jason and he discovered that drawer, it was a bit alarming. Why do you have so many scissors? And I happen to be a person who likes to watch true crime. Dateline.
Oh my gosh.
2020. I listen to murder podcasts. I like all that stuff. So somehow on stream we talked about the drawer of scissors. Chat knew about my love of Dateline. They used those two things to create this scenario that someday I was going to stab Jason with scissors.
Has
So
it
that is
accidentally
what
happened
Mo
yet?
is talking about. So much so that in our little caricatures, have you seen our caricature on the website? Is it still on there even?
I've probably seen it. I don't recall what it is.
If it's still there, we have on our website on the About Us page, if that exists still, About.
Okay, why am I losing
that's still there. So we have pictures of caricatures that were drawn by Zambies. And there's one of me and Jason and Cora. And then there's one of Ruben. Because at the time, and we had one of Eamon, but Eamon doesn't work here anymore. So that picture's not on the website. But it was just us. So those are the only caricatures we have. So
Okay.
Ruben is still on there with our little bios. And in the picture of me and Jason and Cora, it's got other little things. So there's a unicorn in it, there's a bottle of Acryl, there's a monument hat, and there's a pair of scissors.
Awesome.
So I don't know how you guys get that. This is on our website in the About section. If you want to just go
Peruse.
right. Locks Key, hello, good afternoon to you. Bobzilla, your wife buys a bunch. Yeah. We did the, at the beginning of the year, you get all the, parents send in a box of Kleenex and, a ream of paper and basic supplies, a bottle of hand sanitizer, and it all comes in at the beginning of the year, and it lasts about a month, and then they don't give us anything. Then they don't give us anything ever again.
That's crazy that they don't have quarterly, just do a quarterly supply drive or something like that.
Yeah.
It seems so easy to do. Hey, parents, help us supply things for your children at,
They forget about all that.
Yeah.
Jin Kasagi, Jin Kasagi. Got my transparent set today. The white is very weak, but I love it for this reason. It's transparent.
Yeah, the transparent white is not meant to cover.
Yeah,
super
it's
well.
not meant to. None of the transparents are going to provide like solid coverage because they're transparent. Sectoric said, do you recommend keeping a second airbrush just for varnish?
No. That is not necessary.
If I needed to brighten transparent purple, should I use transparent white or bold titanium white? Probably transparent.
If you wanted to do what?
Brighten transparent purple.
Transparent white. It'll retain the
transparency
of it. Yeah. If you use bold titanium white, it will work. It'll have better coverage, but you will lose the transparency of the paint.
Oh, Wad, you knew that? Okay. I didn't know. I don't remember how many people have been around long enough to know about the scissor drawer. And dirty jokes are generally welcomed. Yeah, Gabe. Zambies. She drew those. Transparents are not meant to act like contrast paints.
No. You
You can turn them into a form of a contrast paint.
If you use our glaze and wash medium, you can have them work and function like speed paints or contrast paints, but they are not designed to work as such out of the bottle. We do that so that they'll be a little bit more flexible with how you use them, because we want the paints to be as versatile as possible out of the pot, which will mean that they're a little less effective initially. Okay, what is with the airflow in this airbrush right now? But you can mix them to be whatever consistency that you want. Why? The compressor's still on. Why is this being so cruddy right now? I need to give it a little scrub? Probably should. Whoa! What the heck? Oh, because that makes sense.
Is it user error?
Yeah. Nope. No, it is not. I thought it was for a second, but that is not.
No?
Okay. That's really weird. It is struggling real hard. What is our compressor set to right now? I have PSI gauge on here.
Broken Chef, good afternoon.
No, it's still coming in at that. This just needs to be clean. Well, chat, we're gonna have to take a break from spraying
Good.
to give this guy a little bit of a clean.
Airbrush cleaning demo time.
Yeah. Although we are gonna need a new one of these because ours is pretty dead right now.
Do you want me to go grab you one?
Yeah. Would you mind?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Out of the way. Is Gabe gonna go grab one?
Jabe's good.
Jabe, thank you, Jabe. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a little bit of water on this thing, and we're just gonna give this a little wipe down. I'm gonna pull the needle out first, though. Give it a little wipe down, get all the schmutz off of it. Hello, Gabe.
Hello.
Thank you for the assistance.
Hey, please.
Please. You're not welcome.
No!
Screw you and your silliness.
Thanks, Gabe.
The fact that this airbrush, you probably can't hear it, but it is very, very weak right now. Airflow, which means that something is getting all gunked up. We're going to take this part off here. We're going to take the rubber bit off. We're going to take this off. We're going to this off. We're going to take the top part off. Oop. Clean in there. Wipe that down. And I have some Q-tips that we can use. We'll give this a nice little wipe down. We're going to unscrew the top part here. We have the little nozzle right here.
Hey, Line Creative.
Make sure that there's nothing wrong with the nozzle. Looks nice and round. And then we have our handy dandy tool over here. So there's a little like hex nut that's holding this thing down. You can see right there the hex nut at the bottom. So we're just going to take this small hex nut shape here.
And that comes with the airbrush, right?
And it comes with the airbrush, yeah. And then you just rotate it. And once you get it started, you can unscrew the rest of it. Okay. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew the back as well. Touch. Oop, that all comes out. This comes out. This little bit comes out. Now we have a airbrush that's ready to scrub. First thing I'm going to do though, I'm going to take a Q-tip that's a little wet, and I'm going to stick it in the back of the airbrush and just kind of squeeze it around back here to get whatever messy stuff is back here. And you can see all that gunk that's pulling out. I'll put a relatively clean one in there so you can see how dirty it gets. So you can see all that stuff.
Wow.
And the fact that when I look down the back of this and I can't see a hole, a little hole with white on the other side, means that it's clogged up.
Seems like a problem.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab, I'll use the old one for right now because this one still works. We're gonna use this medium size that fits in the front end here. We're gonna get it a little wet, and we're going to stick it through the front, and we're gonna rotate it in.
So just water?
Yeah, water.
Do you ever have a need to use any kind of
So
cleaner?
Jason doesn't like using isopropyl.
Oh, okay.
I tend to use it when I do deep cleans.
Okay.
Just to make sure everything is clean. Because the inside of the airbrush is strong enough that it's not going to get worn down by isopropyl alcohol. I don't know if you can see that little chunk in there that just got dislodged. That's probably what that was from. The clog. You can see that little white chunk in there. And I'll take my amount here. Oop, let me get this a little further out. I'll zoom out. So I'll take this, and I'll put the thing in the back, and I'll spray it out. Alright, so now, I don't know if I can get this on camera. See how there's that little hole now that I can see?
Yep.
That means that most of the clog is gone. You can look through it, and if you see that it's not perfectly spherical, then that means you need to scrub it some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the front side a little bit more of a scrub. So we're going to stick this in here, and we're going to... Ooh, getting this on some of those models. Okay, so that's coming out good. All right, so the clog is definitely in the back of the airbrush because I can see through to the front now. If I can get it.
That's just Arizona tap water, Siobhan. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You
so the
just
back
filled that
part
up.
definitely. So we're gonna grab our new one. And these will hold up for a while, but after a certain period of time, they get to the point where you can't really these like little nubs start to fall off. Like if you look at this,
Oh,
it's a little sad.
that's sad.
So, and this is just
That's where he just
paint
got
water.
That. Gabe brought it to him.
And we're gonna go from the back, and we're gonna push through that clog to the front of the airbrush.
Oh, did you mean to just grab a new airbrush off the shelf? Yeah.
No.
That's not.
Okay. We're getting there. Let me try and rinse this out again. Okay, so the back part's looking pretty clean now. You can see that hole again. But the front part needs a little bit more love. So, we're going to take this guy again. We're going to go through the front of the brush.
Siobhan, we do give our dog filtered water.
And we're going to go one step down. Because these come in different sizes. So, this front hole is a little bit larger than the one that's in the back here. So use the slightly larger one for the outside, and then when you are cleaning on the inside, you want to use the smaller one.
So he said I would think a painter of his caliber would have a pit crew do this for him. We got to keep him humble.
Cleaning your
do
own
the grunt
airbrush
work.
is really important. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Knowing
helps
how
you
to
know how
service
it
your
works.
tools, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is, when you clean your own airbrush, you figure out what's causing the problems.
Yeah.
Like when I turn this thing back on, and if it sprays fine, then that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't spray fine, then I know that the problem is in here, where the lever action is, to press down to let air come through the airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure that I get in here and I clean as much of this stuff back here as I can. It's still dirty back there. This is where the ISO helps a lot more. Is it gets more of this stuff to break down faster. You don't have to spend as much time cleaning it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll actually break down the paint. Because when paint dries, it basically turns into plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And acrylic paint is water soluble to a point. Once it's dried and it's cured and becomes that plasticky cover, that's why acrylic is so used everywhere, is because it's really durable when it's dry.
I mean, once you get it on your clothes, it doesn't come out very easily.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, you can't just throw it in a washing machine and have it come out. Alright, so get that part too. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, perfect. And I'm pushing straight down on that the trigger action here to clean out that area in there. Ooh. That's a lot cleaner in there.
I don't know.
The nice thing too is when
You
you're using.
find out, Crazy Dave. You tell us, because Ruben has paint all over his clothes back there.
Yeah, he does. I think he just has a set of clothes that are just.
I'm sure he does. He's like, all right, they got
they're
paint
just-
on them. They're gonna get more paint. He just wipes his hands on them.
Yeah, yeah. Alright. And then the other thing you can do too is you can clean this back chuck a little bit too. I'm gonna need the smaller one for that. Yeah.
Xenophonetics that I always have a problem near the place it passes through to where the cup is. I mostly prime.
Like from. Okay, so this is the front of your airbrush. Are you talking about from here to the cup, or from the cup to back to where the trigger is?
The needle. I don't know. The cup back.
Okay, so like behind here. So that's why I went through and I cleaned the back of it as well. And now, let me see if I can get it to show.
Oh yeah.
You can see how much larger
Yeah.
that and more visible that hole is.
Yep.
That's how much stuff was gunking up the airbrush.
That's crazy.
So now that that's done,
But that's just normal, right? Because it's paint. And it's
yeah,
gonna
it'll
build up in
accumulate.
there.
There is
You have
very
to take
little
it
you
apart
can
once
do.
in a while and clean it.
Yeah. Because the problem is, if you think about it, every time you pull the needle back, right, paint is going back into this back area,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that you can do to stop that from happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very hard to clean out unless you take the whole airbrush
Yeah.
apart. And then the problem is the needle now has paint on it back here, so if you pull the needle out, it pulls the paint further back this way. So you just have to scrub it down every once in a while
Mm-hmm.
and clean out the inside. But this took what, 10, 15 minutes maybe? And that's,
on.
I mean, it's much cleaner now than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big
So-
difference.
So now we got to reassemble it. That's the next step. So how do we do that?
General Elite, thank you for the follow.
And this guy really just needs a bath and some ISO for a hot minute. This front part, it's got some serious gunk on it.
Ooh, Spatsnet has a good solution to the what do you do when you get paint on your clothes, or how do you get paint out of your clothes?
Oh?
You paint the rest of the clothing the same color.
Oh, come on. Come on. All right. So we're going to start with this. We'll put the spring back on the back. And then we are going to take this chuck. So this is the part that pushes the trigger forward. And we're going to put this back on top of it. And then we're going to screw this back there.
Wait, Tim, you take it apart like this every time you use it?
It's not a terrible
clean it?
thing to do, to be
Really?
honest. It's just time consuming, so
Yeah.
I don't do it all the time. But it does make a difference.
No. Not a
We're gonna
cheap,
screw
not
this
a
back
cheap
on.
item to have. So
Yeah, no, you
gotta
want to take care of it.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing we do need to do is we want to take
Good for you.
the nozzle. We're going to dip this thing in a little bit more water. And we're going to take this and we're going to spin the nozzle on the top of this. And this is just to clear out as much of the nozzle as we can. So now that we've done that, we're going to take this, we're going to put it into the back, and we're going to screw it just a little bit so that it's in there and I can pull on the back of this. The next thing we're going to do, this sits against the trigger like this, and it goes like this. So what I like to do is there's a little, let me zoom in if I can. Other way. There we go. Hiya. Zoom all the way in. Okay. So if you can see, there's a little ledge running inside there. So I like to sit this in that ledge so that it catches on it. And then what I do is I take this trigger, and then what you want to do is you want to find, you'll see that the trigger is a little uneven. It goes up on the backside to the right there. You want to make sure that that is facing towards the back of the airbrush. Fell in a little bit. So this is the trickiest part, and this might take you a little bit of getting used to. But it is very doable.
Lumberjack Tim said that you should start taking the needle out the front and you'll stop getting paint in the back of the brush.
Oh, I suppose you could do that, yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
He also talks about wiping as a comparison.
The big one that you'll feel the difference between a clean airbrush and a not clean airbrush is how the trigger feels. If it's smooth, you're good to go. Now, the one thing that we don't have here that I would like to see us get at some point is some lubricant for the trigger, which helps it have the nice smooth action.
What do you use for that?
They just make like...
Oh, it's like a specific product for it?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get some generic like lubricant oil. You don't want to use oil, but you want to use like a lubricant. And I put a little bit on the back of the needle, and I put a little bit here just to make everything slide together really well. It helps to avoid the parts from grating on one another.
Yeah.
And wearing down.
Tim said gun oil. Needle juice.
Yeah, gun oil would probably work.
Needle juice. If we make this product, it needs to be called needle juice. Astroglide.
We ain't doing Astroglide.
Maybe. Needles on Grex, you can't do that with. Take them out the front. They have size grooves that make it impossible. And yes.
Oh yeah, they do
you are
have
correct
the
that our
notches on the back.
airbrushes are Grex.
Yeah, they have the notches on the back. I always just take mine out the back. It's fine. Because usually when I'm pulling it out, I'm doing a deep clean. So it's not going to matter if I get a little bit more paint in the back, because there's already paint back there, as you guys very quickly found out.
Oh, there's already a product called needle juice? Darn.
We could come up with another neat name for it. Needle goop.
Needle goop.
Jen's fantastic needle goop.
Gentastic's drunken needle goop.
Yep. All right. So now that that's back on, we're gonna put the grip back on. Just slides on like that. We're gonna put the quick release back on. We put the needle back on already. We got to tighten it down with this.
Airbrush shaft lube. That works
We're gonna
too.
put this back
Very
on.
descriptive.
Then we put the little cap back on. And then put the needle back in. That just glides right on in.
I can't believe it's not Astroglide. You don't want to send any mixed messages. We can easily say don't eat the paint, but it gets a little trickier when we have to be that specific about what not to do.
True. Let's get this back on. Feels good. Grab this.
All about the context, Xenophonetic.
Okay. Now here is the problem. Still having trouble. So question is, where is this problem coming from? This looks fine. So maybe it's with one of the
Exactly.
housings over here. It's troubleshooting day, everybody. We are troubleshooting problemos. Well, here's a quick thing that we can try. So that's working. So I can just grab.
So we don't just, if something is fixable, we're not just going to go get a new one. We're not taking an airbrush off the shelf for this.
Okay, so it's definitely this airbrush. Okay. So.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, I would assume that, it probably takes 15 minutes unless there's a problem.
Which is what we're having right now.
What is happening?
So.
Unless it doesn't, exactly.
We're getting really bad airflow. And the question is, why is that happening?
And you're sure the compressor is on? It didn't get accidentally unplugged somewhere?
I can hear it.
You can?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the
I
other
haven't
one
heard it,
is
but I haven't
working
been paying
fine. So.
attention. Okay.
Okay. So, is this going down fine? This is so weird that this is happening. These are the troubleshooting problems that are hard to fix. Take a little bit of. So I pulled off the bottom part here, just to get in here and make sure that this is all clean. And that these are pressing down okay. Which it seems like they are.
Got a couple people in chat trying to help you troubleshoot, and they want to know if you've tried turning it off and turning it back on.
The compressor? No, I have not. That's a silly thing to do. Because the compressor is obviously working because
it's a joke.
The other airbrush.
the anytime there's a problem, the first thing you say is, "Did you turn it off and turn it back on?"
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try this again. Getting really bad airflow. Why are we getting such bad airflow? There's no needle in there. Versus this. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. I don't know if the camera is sensitive enough to pick it up. Like that. Has way more power to it. I wonder. Here, let's do this. Let's take this off. Just gotta figure out why this is being so weird. Is it the needle? Because that is completely clean.
Leonius Rex said nozzle, maybe?
Nah, maybe.
Do you know if it is the needle pulling back fine when tightened?
Yeah.
Is it the hose?
It's not the hose. Because I tried it against the other. Man, and this airbrush is super clogged up. Which is the crazy thing to me, because I literally just. Here, I'm going to pull this needle or this nozzle off of this and put it on.
Is there a seal missing? I would imagine a seal couldn't be missing because it hasn't been taken apart, right?
This is all gunked up. Hi. Okay. He's doing the eye thing
Yeah.
at me. That's exciting.
I didn't know if we didn't disclose anything. We decided that
No,
if
it's
you
hush
want to,
hush.
huh?
It's hush hush.
Yeah,
What is
that's-
this? What is
that's
happening
what I
here?
thought.
This is me trying to fix the airbrush.
There's a lot happening here.
Did the hose pop off again?
No, I am trying to troubleshoot why I'm getting really bad airflow through one of the airbrushes that I just cleaned.
It's because you don't clean them right.
I cleaned it pretty thoroughly.
Oh boy, they're just quick to throw Jordan out of the bus. Baby J broke your airbrush, Jason.
I know.
It's the nozzle.
I've noticed every time I paint with my airbrushes since he got here, they get progressively worse. He's never once picked up the cleaning kit and used it.
Just used it.
I literally just used it. I just used it. No, it's the nozzle. There's stuff gunked up in here that is causing air not to flow properly. So,
We have a nozzle.
do we? I was about to say, do we have a nozzle?
We have a
scraper?
nozzle scraper, but oh boy, you know what? Oh no, it's gold. Like you can't miss it. when
Yeah, you
see it.
unscrew it, right, and it's
Yeah, you
gold.
can't miss it. I just can't remember where it went. And I think that since the cleanup, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's in one of these.
It could be in your bucket over there.
I don't know.
Um,
Hi, chat.
okay, so we figured out what it is.
Mo says, I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it. Well, here, give it to me. Give me the nozzle.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna screw this back on this one. That one. Front of it seems fine. That is definitely the culprit.
Quicksilver, what's going on? How many hobbyists does it take to troubleshoot an airbrush? All of them?
Well, we figured out what the problem is.
Is the right answer Jesus?
You just gotta clean it. It's all about isolating the things that can be causing problems.
You know, Phonetic, your little in the way you included that little emoji makes it seem like you feel that this is an obvious solution. Is
Can you
that
give
correct?
me the clean out tub and the squirter?
You know, tub. Hopeful. Squirt bottle.
Have you painted anything?
I was using the
Yeah, a little
airbrush
bit.
earlier.
Has he spent an hour cleaning an airbrush?
No. I airbrushed a bunch of stuff and talked to people.
This is great content, chat.
Xenophonetic wants to know if you reamed the nozzle.
Hey, that's not language we. This is a family channel.
This
And he
is a
said,
family channel.
use
What
the
the heck?
needle to ream, then get a real reamer with this emoji.
I'm not sure you understand what the words you're using.
This is a family channel. We won't have that kind of talk here. Switch over to my cam.
Yeah.
Can you? So you can see all that gunk coming out the front, right? So over time, obviously, if you, it's just kind of unavoidable with acrylics because you'll clean the brush, but then you'll leave it in like the the holder, like we have the desk saddle holders,
Mhm.
and any moisture that is collected on the side, because you don't dry your airbrush out, it just air dries, and so any moisture that's on the sidewalls will obviously through gravity, because it can't when you store it, will drip down to the nozzle end, and with the needle fully extended, what it does is it collects around the needle at the mouth of the nozzle, but can't find its way out.
Yeah.
And so it'll take the residue, which may not seem like you're getting clean water. You're spraying perfectly clean. It doesn't seem like there's anything in the airbrush. But what in truth is happening is that little bit of water that's left in the airbrush is taking those little bitty particles of paint and floating them all down to the tip of the needle as it's extended and clogging up there. And drying around that hole where the needle extends. And then just the action of moving the needle back and forth can get that stuff to move towards the mouth of the nozzle and clog it more, which means that as you pull the needle back, you have to wind up pulling it back further and further to get paint, and it'll sputter sometimes. It's just a natural thing, and so because that's a lot of hard material to be coming out of this nozzle anyway, right? Is this the 0.2?
This
is the 0.3.
This is 0.3, yeah.
Okay.
This is what was in that.
So I'm just taking a 0.3 needle here, right? It's better if you use an old one. I just don't have one sitting here, right? But just take the needle. Here, let me zoom in some. I'm already zoomed in, right? But if you just take the needle and just very lightly kind of get it in there to where you're pushing along the sidewall first, and look at that. You seeing that? If I can get the light right here.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't do.
Right? Is that if you notice, it'll start kind of geysering out. Look at that.
Jeez.
See that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. This is just the natural stuff. You've cleaned your airbrush, like we clean the airbrush around here, but over time, right, the water, look at that, right?
Huh.
That's just slightly moving the needle along the sidewall and pushing that stuff out. And you can imagine each little particle of that paint is constricting the paint flow around the needle.
And the airflow.
No, airflow doesn't come out through the nozzle. Airflow comes out around the nozzle. Air doesn't go through the nozzle. Air comes around the nozzle, which is why the nozzle cap has to be on there. The air flows around the nozzle, picks it up, and shoots it out that hole. Look at your airbrush. Let me show people. Watch.
Oh, I see it.
See all those holes around? Like if I take the needle cap off?
Yeah, I see it.
And Bramage,
See those holes?
Watamaton has the basic answer.
That's where air
for you.
flows.
Yes.
Interesting.
So air flows in.
We'll talk
That's
about
why
it more
this
when
is
they're
so
done.
important to also keep this hole round, because that's where the air comes through. And if this hole is oblonged, then it creates turbulence on the air, which will grab the paint coming out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a vacuum, right? And so as the paint flows through here, it sucks, or as the air flows around the nozzle, it sucks the paint around the needle.
So then here's the question. Why, when I changed the nozzle, I got better air pressure out of the airbrush?
Did you put a 0.2 nozzle?
I did swap it to the one that was on that.
That's
so if that's a
0.2.
0.2, that's
A
why.
0.2 gives you a larger hole around the nozzle on this, so more air comes through it once. Since this hole is sized for the nozzle, this nozzle cap fits the nozzle size. They have to go together. So the 0.2 nozzle has a smaller opening here because the 0.2 nozzle has a smaller opening here. So it only has a percentage of the nozzle opening that allows air through. So you need to make sure you've got those correct.
I do.
Okay.
I did have them correct.
Yeah. Yeah, but air flows through here and flows along the side of the nozzle, and then when you pull the needle back, it just lets a droplet of paint come out, and the air then grabs that droplet and atomizes it through the front of the airbrush.
Interesting.
Yeah. The nozzle does not allow air through.
Okay. Which explains a lot.
And that's why a lot of people will have problems, because this hole, you can see how this is all gummed up.
I did.
See all that dirty paint on there? Right? That can cause a problem because that's restricting the air coming out,
Yeah.
right? But the nozzle restricts the paint coming out. Two different things.
Xenophonetic, glad we can entertain you. I think it's super informative to hear, like, the
This kind of
really
discussion.
technical.
Yeah.
So
aspect
that,
of
you
it.
need to make sure that's always clean. And actually, we keep a little file here. It's just a needle file that I keep. You don't want to actually have one. This one's covered with paint on purpose so that it doesn't have the grit of a file. So it's basically just a glorified needle. and you put that in there, and you just kind of rotate it around a little bit. You don't want to take the chrome off, right? But you want to make sure that there's never paint buildup in that, right? And that hole is always round rather than elliptical like it'll get, and then make sure that there shouldn't be paint back here, right? This should always be clean. If there's paint back here, then you have a bent needle or something that's causing the air as it grabs it to whip that paint around inside this little cover.
Okay. So then,
Automaton, I think some people do though.
But what's happening with this being constricted is that the paint can't move around the needle properly, and so that droplet is not even of the paint coming out, and you're getting it sputtering. It's only giving you paint in small bursts as the air is trying to suction it out of here.
yeah, I was having that problem. The other problem I was having is that it was just air was not flowing through the airbrush properly. It was like the pressure on the airbrush on the compressor was really low.
It's that nozzle cap is clogged.
Yeah.
And that can be happening because the needle's jammed up and is spurting paint on the inside of the nozzle.
Well, and it felt kind of like it happened pretty suddenly, like you were
you
going
were
along
fine,
just
and then all of a sudden
fine,
it was just
and then
gone.
all of a sudden it wasn't.
Well, yeah, because all it takes is for that one little
Yeah.
chunk of paint to shift, right? I mean, look at all that I'm getting out.
Crazy.
It looks tiny, but all of that, you look at how small the needle is, right? It just takes one of those particles to loosen up because you've been spraying wet paint through it, and dry paint is now being wet over time, and so one of them loosens up, moves down towards the front. It's too big to come out the nozzle, and now all of a sudden you've got problems, right? It causes paint to sputter and make this hole get clogged, and then the air doesn't come out. All right. Then you can take this, and this is where these eye squirt bottles have always been a godsend, because you take the pointed end of the nozzle and you put it in the deal here, and then you spray water back through the nozzle the other way.
Punisher wants to know if you don't worry that using the needle to do this will blunt the tip. or
Well,
anything that
that's
will
why I
affect
said use an
paint
old
flow.
needle. This is the 0.3 that we take out, and we've got the 0.2 in the studio one. So yeah, definitely use an old needle. One that's been bent in the past, works great. You're not really, if you push really hard, you could probably flare the nozzle. On our Grex nozzles, you're going to have a hard time doing that. On cheap Masters airbrushes, this is just a thin brass, and it can flare really easily.
Yeah.
So be careful you're not like jamming the needle up in there, because at some point in time, the taper is too thick for the opening in the nozzle, and it'll start to flare it, and then it'll never work again.
Yeah, the Grex ones are really durable.
Yeah,
They're super durable.
super cool. They're stainless, so.
Yeah. You still have to be careful with it, but you don't have to be as, you can be a little bit more...
I can still see junk in there.
Okay. So that's working fine now. Let's see,
I think
we'll
this
put
is
on.
really helpful and useful, and
Oh,
I'm
sure.
there are a lot of people who,
Everybody's experienced this problem.
well, yeah, and feeling like, oh my gosh, there's some people who just make airbrushing look so easy and never have any problems, and
There's
to know
always a
that
little bit of-
okay, everybody has problems
I mean,
with them once in a while.
I've been airbrushing for a long time, and I didn't even know that the air didn't go through the dang nozzle. So I learned something new today, which is great.
Look at me.
Which honestly helps me troubleshoot more easily, which is great, because
Yeah.
now I know more specifically how they work, and I have a better understanding of where the fail points are. Because that sounds more accurate, because this is not what this sounded like before.
Prison shanks
What
are
do you
nice,
want?
but they're not thin
Put
enough
the
to go
nozzle.
all the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
through the
give
tip.
me 2 seconds.
Sugis wants to know, can you soak that part and let water or ISO do the work?
Sure. You're still going to need to clean all those particles out of it, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to magically come off the sidewall of the nozzle unless you soak it for hours and hours and hours. And you still want to be able to use the pipe cleaner bit or a needle to just make sure all those loose particles, because there's always something that's scaled across the inside metal of the nozzle.
Yep.
And it's old dried paint. And even though it's very thin, again, as you start to re-wet it by throwing paint and water and isopropyl and everything you use to clean and paint with through your airbrush, it starts to loosen up and it eventually becomes the clog. So it's not that anything you did in this session of airbrushing, you're like, I thinned my paint. My paint was fine. It shouldn't have had any clogs. It's the old paint that the new paint is reactivating or making slip off the sidewall, and it's getting that one little thing. Like I said, it only takes one little micron of dried paint to move into a different position, not even clog, but just shift a little bit because of wet paint moving past it to cause your airbrush to do totally different things.
Yep.
Because you're talking about a thing that's only like 1.5 millimeters in total diameter, and 90% of that is covered by the needle. So you're down to like microns of area where paint is coming around that needle when you're doing fine detail work. So it only takes one little, like imagine from noon to 2 o'clock on the clock gets a chunk of paint in there. Now you're only working with 80% of your clock having paint come through, but air is still on all of that. And so where the air hits and grabs paint, and then the part that's not grabbing paint causes distortion in the air. It flutters, it spatters. That's why sometimes when you pull your needle back, you'll get that spritz first, is because it's not even application of paint around the circumference of the needle.
Which is what was happening. Now, that was part of what was happening that caused me to clean it. Start wanting to clean it.
You got the wrench.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, the wrench is right here. Okay. Well, welcome to the airbrush cleaning stream.
You got your needle? Yeah, we can clip that part.
We should. Yeah, we should.
Be a good cleaning on the fly.
Mm-hmm. Clip the whole thing, too, because all the rest of the things that I was talking about were still really relevant for cleaning out your airbrush. Yeah, see, it was not sounding like that before.
No, this sounds perfect.
Yeah, yeah. But you know the sound when it's clogged and the airflow is not coming through?
For this one. I have the nozzle cap for the one.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, test that. That should be fine. And that kind of maintenance, once, depending on how much, it really depends on how much you're airbrushing. We should be doing that kind of maintenance once every week, like on Fridays, just clean the airbrush.
I think I'm gonna start doing that.
Lumberjack Tim cleans his airbrush after every single time he uses it.
Yeah, if you're spraying a lot, never a bad idea to just go through and do that kind of maintenance every time. It takes you an extra 5-10 minutes, and it won't take near as long as you've seen happen here if you do it consistently, right? But we're all bad at that, right? We're nerds. We want to get our models on the table. You paint way long, and then you got to go run out to meet your friends for the appointment you had or whatever. And so at the end of the day, if you don't clean it, now we've just shown you how to make up for that, right? By understanding what you need to be doing, right?
It's like a chore, and nobody likes to do chores.
Yeah.
Well, some people do, but
those people, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Or you need to get one of them and make them clean your airbrush every time.
Yeah, or marry one.
Yeah.
Do you have that thing for cleaning the top part?
Top part? What are you talking about?
The nozzle. Yep.
I use. The answer is yes, but I threw it back over here. It's right here. Just be careful with it.
Yep.
While we're doing this, I will go ahead and I noticed the other day this needle was stuck in the pistol grip. So it wouldn't have even helped him to switch brushes today. You want to play video games, Mom?
Exactly.
Don't we all? Sometimes you got to do it. Tim heard me bitching about the fact that I had to figure out a way to make it laundry day on Sunday, and I certainly didn't want to do that.
Okay, we got a good airflow there.
I will say that having the washer and dryer inside the house makes it much nicer.
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah, that's
Even
100%.
though it wasn't that far, it was just out in the backyard. It's such a big difference.
100% the truth. which is why I've decided to move the washer dryer out to the guest room so that I don't have to do it anymore.
No. No.
No?
Jen, no.
No? I don't understand. This sounded like such a good plan.
No.
Chat, do you see how my life goes? Send help. Send help, I'm abused. I'm blinking twice.
Lumberjack Tim is the example of the person who hobbies correctly
You don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
cleans his brushes almost every time. Throw a load in the washer, go paint. Get notified on your phone when it's done. Pretty handy.
That's a fancy.
And I think that other one we looked at did that
Yeah, I
too,
think
and
so
I was
too.
like, what the?
Yeah.
Nobody needs that. Nobody needs to be bothered and they're farting around to say you got to go do chores.
I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't mind having a washer or dryer that.
Dude, I moved out from my
Totally.
parents' house to avoid these exact things. I am not paying thousands of dollars extra for these features.
No, I'm not going to pay extra for those features, but they would be nice. It's one of those like, I wouldn't pay for it, but if I had it, it wouldn't be a problem.
I mean,
Oh.
that's like most things.
People like you.
What? Happy people with opinions?
People like you.
Is there a washer and dryer in your apartment?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
that's
yeah.
nice.
That was one of the mandatory.
That's
I don't
nice.
have any interest in going to a
Yeah.
laundromat.
You meet the nicest people.
Do
Do you though?
I feel like
You
you've
meet
told me
people.
specifically no,
That's for
that's
sure.
not where you meet nice people.
I've made the best business deals in laundromats.
That would be funny if it were
We
true.
probably shouldn't talk about those kind of business deals.
Yeah, I feel like we're not supposed to talk about those in public, right? I plead the fifth. I was never indicted.
Much better. That sounds right.
Great place to share a bottle of tequila, Jordan. It's at the laundromat.
At like 10 a.m. on a Sunday?
Yeah.
This sounds equal, right?
Equal? What are we talking about?
Like that they're shooting with the same pressure.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, don't bring Monument Hobbies into this. What time? We're talking about Jordan.
I'm deaf in my left ear, Jordan. So it all
Oh,
just
yeah,
sound-
that
it, over there it
certainly
all
isn't
just
gonna
sounds
work
like
for you.
Don't ask me to judge air pressure by sound. Not gonna happen.
Sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
What, tequila at 10 a.m.
Sure. What the heck?
on a Sunday
Why not?
at the laundromat with your new best friend? We are building a whole lifestyle for you here, Jordan, and you don't appreciate it one bit.
Oh, I appreciate it plenty. All right, now we can go back to airbrushing things.
Now it's a painting stream.
Now we're back to the painting stream. Yeah, no, I primed like 6 models and then airbrushed 7 more with an airbrush that wasn't working very well. Which means it
Riveting
took
content.
twice as long. Whew. Oh, man, does that feel good? There's nothing like having a freshly cleaned airbrush.
Feels like brand new.
Oh my god, yes. Honestly, that's like one of my favorite things about airbrushes is when you have one that's like basically spotless clean and you go through and you use it again, it's literally just like opening it up for the first time and using it. It's great.
T. Schmidt. Hello. You made it just in time for painting, T. Schmidt.
Yeah, you missed all the airbrush talk.
Lone Samurai. Hello.
Oh god, this works so much better. It works like an airbrush.
Fresh airbrush is a wonderful thing. It most certainly is. Yeah, because fighting one that just has a partial clog or
it sucks.
stuff like that is always a pain. I've had to make do in a pinch and paint around that initial spritz you get out the front of it.
Yep.
All right, Tim, we get it. You clean your airbrush and your brushes a lot. Tim said, I never get that feeling because my airbrush is always fresh.
Yeah,
You know how I know he's lying?
Because he doesn't airbrush very much.
No, he airbrushes a lot.
He cleans it after every use, takes it apart.
How do we know he's lying?
Oh, hey, where'd I go?
Is it because his name is Lumberjack Tim?
It's because his name is Lumberjack Tim.
Jordan, we can't see what you're doing.
Oh, because I'm super zoomed in. Right. Forgot we did that. Thank you.
You've been avoiding the liar tag, so you can keep using that as an excuse for why you couldn't possibly be lying, Tim. We're on to
He
you.
gets up there and then he takes a month off so he doesn't get it.
Yep.
Like, oh, I'm really close. Gotta hold off on
I gotta
the sub
avoid
for
that
this
liar
month.
tag.
Reset it.
Then I can't have this
Reset the
excuse
clock.
anymore.
It's gonna get to 23 months and stop subbing.
Yep. Yep. What we don't realize, he's already been there twice, but he keeps
Yeah.
getting rid of his account and then
Resets.
getting a new account with the same name,
Yeah.
starting from scratch.
Nobody pays attention to those last two numbers.
Lumberjack Tim has been subbed for
He's Lumberjack
1
Tim
month.
33. He's gone through Lumberjack Tim 01, 02, 03,
Yep.
just to avoid the liar's tag.
Lumberjack
work,
Tim has
Tim.
subbed to the channel for 1 month.
Like, I didn't really like you guys very much anyways. You know how we know you're lying, Tim?
Why you pointing at me?
Because you said it earlier. Because his name's Lumberjack Tim.
Tim's not a liar. Tim's a perfect human being.
Eh.
He cleans his airbrush after every use.
Oh, gosh.
You know these things.
I said, because I tell the truth.
You tell the truth as much as I do.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I don't lie.
This just
I was
became a
just gonna
deep
say,
dive.
what are you trying to say here?
This just became a deep dive.
Are you just admitting something today? That...
No. Why would I ever admit something like that? I was trying to say that Tim doesn't lie. Remember, I don't have a liar tag.
Tim, this guy's very wishy-washy. I don't know what to believe.
Tim's been here way long enough to be a liar in spirit, says T. Schmid. I agree.
Tim took to us very quickly, which guarantees he's a liar.
Yeah.
He was like, my people.
Gladiator, I don't know what this means. Just thought I'd let everyone know there's a stop motion video of Ultramarines versus Necrons. Check it out.
What?
The channel is Captain Pioneer.
I don't know what color I want the buckles, but I'm going to go ahead and cover them with the Payne's gray so they're not just glaring white. Even if I do gold, it'll be alright. It'll be alright. I swear.
It's gonna be perfect.
I don't know if I go that far. Hey, Jordan. Play Mickey Mouse!
No, I refuse.
Jordan has been sucked into the Lorcana
It's
nonsense.
not a
Good.
hoodie.
It's a good game.
This is our work shirt. It's on the site. We don't have zipper monument hoodies.
I wish. I love zipper hoodies.
You what?
I love zipper hoodies. This is my preferred type of hoodie.
Not yet, yeah.
I'm a pullover hoodie guy.
I mean, I do have a zipper hoodie, actually. And I think Jacob does too.
What's that?
I said I do actually have one, and I think Jacob does too.
Of what?
Zipper hoodies.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jago does too.
Well, Rat the Great said, I want a zipper monument hoodie. No fair. Put him on the shop because he thought that I was wearing one today.
Oh, I
'Cause
see.
he couldn't see my arms.
Oh, so we should say no, we don't have them.
Well, we don't have them.
Right.
But then Gabe said, not yet.
So Gabe is designing all sorts of clothing that I don't know how is going to get made. I guess Gabe's making it as well.
Remember, it's Gabe. He finds a way to spend the money.
Gabe will just come into work one day with shirts, and I'll be missing my credit card.
Yeah.
He's like, look at these cool things that we made. He's like, here, like, what? What do you mean?
By the way,
I said,
babe,
"Oh, I'll
did you
fit
tell
it."
him to come get my credit card the other day?
I told him that you needed to update the address on it.
Okay.
And I said, because he was going to log in as you, and I said, okay, well, you need to update the address. And then he said, well, I can't change it without the card. And I said, well, it's Jason's card, so you need to go talk to him.
So the way he presented it is he came in and said, Jen said you need to give me your credit card. That's what he said. And so I did it. And now I'm feeling taken advantage of.
All right, Gabe. We're going to have to come
Order
up
the
with
shirts while you
with
can.
a bigger, better plan here than this. We didn't coordinate that well. We really want to use the card. We got to figure out a different way to get it.
I gave it to him.
No, I know. But now he's going to be suspicious the next time.
He walked out of the room and Phil looks at me and goes, you just gave Gabe your credit card. I said, probably the worst thing I've ever done in my life, but...
I mean, now you're going to be suspicious the next time Gabe asks.
Gabe was like, what could I have possibly done in that quick of a period of time? I was like, you could have had the cart loaded with millions of dollars of things. It doesn't take long to click checkout. Mo says that's all it takes to get the card?
Apparently.
Apparently,
I'm not trying hard enough.
Wad says Lorcana seems fine, but until prices lower down to reasonable prices, I'm not bothering. Play Mickey Mouse!
I don't think I said that, Mo, at all. No, this is gonna look really cool next week. I did also tell Gabe, I'm like,
And that
I need
is,
you to
Gabe
come
would
in
buy
and
the
decorate
coolest,
my office.
and he wouldn't even be lying. Gabe would buy the coolest decorations you've ever seen.
Yeah,
He
Jen's
said-
like, get me in my office set up
He
really
said, and he
nice.
said the other day, he's like, at my last job, they gave me a bunch of money and said, just go get stuff and decorate, and I did. I'm like, oh. I'm like,
There's that.
Jen's like, ooh,
what's
this
the
is a thing
budget
that can
for Jen's
happen.
office?
Mo was just seeing if it would work.
No,
No.
it won't work.
Incorrect.
Whew. Whew. So many Marines to prime. Or to base coat.
What sounds dangerous, T. Schmidt? Giving him my card?
Giving the card, I think.
Well, he came wielding the power of Jen, so I gave it to him. Felt like I was doing the right thing.
There must
We'll
be
find
checks
out.
and balances here.
We'll find out when Jen says, what was this $50,000 at Parties R Us for?
Yeah. Did you make an art purchase recently? Gabe, what art piece did you order for your office?
Okay, that reminds me, I'm supposed to be bringing Gabe all the art from the house, aren't I?
Oh, to put up?
Yeah.
You should do that. We gotta spruce up the office a little bit.
We have a ton. Better hang in here where people can enjoy it every day.
Yeah, I mean, the hallway out here looks awesome.
Sitting in my office at the house on the floor.
A lot of stuff.
I have a pretty good art collection.
You should put some stuff up at the house, too.
Jen has spoken.
Jen
So
has
shall it
spoken. Jen knows how to hang paintings.
Huh?
You said you know how to hang paintings.
I know how to what?
Hang paintings.
Oh, no. Not very good.
That sounded like a. I'm gonna make Jason do it.
Yeah. He has to hang up all this stuff.
I'm gonna go for Christmas. She doesn't know it yet, so don't tell her. But
Hold on, before you say anything,
she's gonna get the what?
she's in this room.
What?
What?
I know you don't care, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
I'm gonna put in Jen's stocking that she doesn't have a one of those laser picture hanging levelers.
That she's definitely not gonna get.
Well, Automaton, he did not intentionally buy $2,000 worth of Taco Bell,
Hmm.
but he did.
I mean, he had intentionally purchased the Taco Bell. He just didn't know it was $2,000 worth of Taco
Intentionally
Bell.
bought.
I was bamboozled. I was
beverage.
hornswoggled.
They got you good with that one.
I was hornswoggled by Taco Bell.
No recourse to be had.
I love the word hornswoggled.
Hornswoggled.
Boondoggled.
Most of the scissors have made their way here and are just being utilized by people for cutting things. That
Yeah, my
need to
life
be
at
cutting.
home has gotten a lot better since the disappearance of the scissor drawer.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I feel safe. I still sleep with one eye open. I have to jump off a bit early. Is Gabe gonna come fill in for you, babe?
No, I mean, I'm sure he will. What happened? Why does he need to fill in? We end at 2.
Oh, I guess it ends right at that time. I'm just gonna jump off a little bit early. Then you
Oh,
guys,
'cause,
then you guys can quit.
Is she here? She's here at 2?
2,
Okay.
yeah. Just because we usually run a little.
Do we?
long.
Is Earl coming today?
Earl's supposed to have an online meeting with us, but
Okay.
because it wasn't on the calendar again, I scheduled over it. So
Oh, you did?
yeah, I mean she's here at 2. I don't know how long she'll be here.
Oh, well, we meet with him at like 2:30. I can't imagine she'd start at that.
What's that?
What's there for her to do? Like, we give her a tour?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what she wants to meet about.
Oh, okay.
It may just be a quick tour. It may be that she wants to have a sit down.
Gotcha.
Either way, you could set the meeting up with Earl,
Okay.
and then we'll just, or maybe move it to 3
Okay.
with him. Laura asked about it in the chat. Guy's got a lot of purity seals. A lot of this guy can't get loose going on here.
He is bound.
Cherubael.
What color is that, Jordan?
This is a pre-mix that I made. If I recall, it is black, green, jade, and then some whatever amount of, I believe it's warm gray. Yeah, warm gray to get to whatever kind of level of desaturation of that color that you want.
It's really neat color.
Yeah, I think it fits the color for this faction really, really well.
You know, you thought who said who was done. And hello again, Omicron. Route the Great said I taught my wife how to use command strips and I still get stuck hanging all of the wall art.
What was the first part of that?
Taught my wife how to use command strips.
Oh,
Those little,
yeah.
you know. Call it War Master Green. We don't call paint
We don't,
stuff like that.
we don't do that.
Other than deep sea bend or dark sea bend.
That's the one.
And we'll catch grief for that one forever.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think Jason would have ever called that one done
What's
at
that?
this point. Xenophonetic thought you said that this model was done.
This model was
Yeah.
done?
Not hardly.
Not even.
I'm gonna send you some Q-tips
Not
for
even
your
close.
birthday, boy. Not even anywhere close. I'm still base coating. Where did done come into this? Yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of all. Well, the goal here was to get rid of all of the overspray and hot pink that came from the dark magenta hitting the white zenithal, because I really only wanted that to work for the skin. But when you get to a particular level, you can't see how you like the skin at all. You know, like up around the teeth, where the teeth were white from the zenithal and the dark magenta hits them. Now we just have this hot pink mouth, and that's not what that'll look like. You know, so I have to kind of envision it. Same with the horns. You know, those little blaring hot pink spots tend to drive you nuts. Now there's a little bit down here where there's chain where I missed with the flesh tone, so I have to go back in with the flesh tone there because I don't really like that. But some of it is okay. Some of it, as it trends towards like an almost fluorescent purple on some of this, gives it kind of that glowy demonic feel. So I'm alright with some of it. Kugoth model in the mail. What the hell's that? What's a Kugoth? Is it a Dungeons and Dragons thing? I do not know this word.
I am not familiar with it either.
He's a great unclean one.
Is that a named one from the stories or something? The only one I remember from the stories is in a 40K. It's in the Master of... no, it's not. It's in... oh, God. The Dark Angels, Grey Knights, Andarax, I think it's called.
He said it's first in Nurgle's favor. He's the leader of the Nurgle faction in Total War, and he's in the Dark Imperium books.
Oh, okay, cool.
The one that's always grumpy. Mo, is that about Kugath? Lion Creative said I just received some Eldfall Chronicles models.
Is he the one that's in, like, when they're attacking the world that Gilliman is on, and all of the Nurgle demon princes come out? Okay. Yeah, I do remember that name, Kugath, because he talks about himself in the third person. He talks about himself as Kugath, no like this, kind of thing. I always felt like he talked like Chet.
Panic Bomb Arcade, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, he's the one mixing it up in the pot, right? Yeah. Yeah, Grimlock, but Nurgle, exactly. That was the vibe I got during that whole book. Some of the interactions between the greater demons of Nurgle as they were launching that whole thing were pretty funny. He was like mixing up his pot of blight.
Chet would be a Nurgle demon. What's Chet?
Chet from Weird Science.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't know that those two were going to be connected.
Yeah, Chet is like the great unclean one.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a Nurgle demon. Like a pile of poop kind of a thing. Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so we're using our highlight color to brighten everything up, bring it a little bit more kind of a paley green.
Jordan, have you seen Weird Science?
No. No, I have not.
So
it's a good movie.
I can only imagine that Jordan for you is like you are for me.
That's probably pretty accurate.
So Jordan, have you seen? And the answer is just immediately no.
Yeah.
Chances are
well, to
no.
be fair, though, the stuff that I'm asking him about is like way older than he is. You know, like I asked him about Weird Science and you know, like 16 Candles and all the movies and stuff that I liked. But those are all from before he was born. So I don't watch too many movies from before I was born. So I get it. Dodge Howl, I agree. I've tried giving Jordan homework to watch these movies, but
we also, if you can't get him to like
busy.
buy strawberry shortcake mixings, I feel like the movies are a long shot.
Especially when he loves strawberry shortcake.
I do love strawberry shortcake. You
Holly
are not wrong.
Do you? I
Thank
don't
for the
believe
raid.
this hype
Dodge Howl,
anymore.
thank you for the sub.
You've been to the grocery store like 18 million times. No strawberry shortcake. I think this is a false.
I think that the excitement has passed for the strawberry shortcake. Lone
He said
Samurai,
it was his favorite dessert.
have a great night. Yes, talking about it is one thing. Actually buying it is something else.
Oh, those are belts too. Dang it. What should you do with the extra base space on Belcor? Belcor's got a big base for his footprint, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's pretty
Because his wings are so massive.
Yeah.
So they've got him on the big base, and you can either put the Space Marine or is it a Stormcast Eternal or something on the base?
Yeah, because he works in 40k or
yeah, both, right?
Yeah.
Dodge Howell said, I think you should put certain movies as a requirement for Jordan's quarterly reviews. But it's more than just Jordan, I would guess. So maybe what we need to do is start having like monument movie nights
That would be
where we bring some culture into the building and have all these young kids.
There'll be a quiz,
learn.
kids.
There'll be a quiz. Pop culture trivia after the movie's over.
I'm not the worst person in this building.
What do you mean?
That's a very generic statement.
Well, related to movies that I haven't. Related to movies that I haven't
No,
seen.
I am. And I'm the first to admit it.
Are you worse than me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have only seen those movies pretty much. But I can watch them over and over again. Like it's I don't know, the familiarity of it maybe. I love it. If I were like sitting around and there's nothing on TV and I happen to be flipping through channels and The Breakfast Club came on, I would stop and watch it. Even though I've seen it 100
A gajillion
times. Or more.
times. Yeah.
16 Candles. I can recite pretty much every line from that movie.
I used to be able to recite pretty much every line in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh wow.
I loved that show as a kid. I grew up with it. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still can recite a lot of it.
I only remember Long Duck Dong.
What's happening? Hot
What's
stuff?
happening, hot stuff?
She get to Maddie.
Dong, I need food. Best character
He's a great character.
in that entire movie.
Yeah.
Ka?
Yeah.
Boom. Lake.
Big lake.
Big lake. That was the very formulaic movie times. Not that they're not now, but it's just a different formula.
Yeah, I was about to say this. The era of movies is not the most original we've ever had.
I think it's probably the case always. You know, if they find a formula you like, you know, like say superhero movies or something, then it's your heyday. You're really living your best entertainment life. I'm sort of excited for Loki,
The second season.
only because the first season was really good.
Yeah, I really
I
enjoyed
really
it.
liked what they did with Loki.
Yeah,
It was one of the few things that Marvel's pumped out
of late.
of late that I was like, that's really fresh and fun.
It had a very distinct vibe compared to the rest of all of the things that they've been doing.
Yeah. I like
In a
the
good way.
advertising. I like the old, you know, it's almost like Fallout, the way they do Fallout.
It does
With,
feel like Fallout.
With Vault Boy, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
It's 1:52. I don't know what time you were.
I'm going to bust out.
Okay.
Chat. It's been good chatting with you, chat. You beautiful chatters, you. I have a meeting that Jen and I have to prepare for, so I'm going to go do the preparation. Jen will see you off with Mr. Jordan, the maestro. Those are looking good.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you very much.
Lumberjack says, you guys talking about Baby J not making shortcake got me in the mood to make something from a recipe. I say don't use the recipe, just make something. Just throw a bunch of stuff in a pot. Call it goulash and be good.
That's kind of how I do things.
And it works out tremendously.
Sometimes.
Adios.
Sometimes.
Take
All
care
right.
of them.
Good luck in your meeting.
Drink and drink, Jordan.
I've been busy doing fixing of things and stuff
you've
and
been real
painting.
busy today.
And Jen, if you could not turn everything off
Okay.
when you're done, because I need to.
Okay.
I got some recording to do.
Gotcha. No, I want goulash.
I think I'm gonna make some spaghetti tonight.
So Xenophonetic, how do you make your goulash? Lumberjack Tim may even make the show goulash. Show goulash? I see goulash in there. Oh. Well, you should learn. Because then you can cook for yourself when you get hungry.
Which is way cheaper than buying food out all the time.
It is.
Take it from me, who's a person who's very well versed in doing that.
Childhood drama. Do you eat? But I asked about goulash because there's like a Midwestern goulash, which is very different than an actual goulash. And when I traveled a bit and had real goulash, it was still good, but it was not the goulash of my youth.
Are you used to more of a traditional, or are you used to the Midwestern?
Well, the Midwestern, because I grew up in the Midwest. So,
That's correct.
like, the goulash
yes.
had macaroni and hamburger and, like, tomatoes.
Opposed to what?
So the goulash that we had in Prague, I would have to tell you what's in it. It's been a while. Is showing. It's more of like a stew. It doesn't have the noodles in it. I think maybe they put it over potato or something.
Okay.
Like well, they're saying Hungarian goulash is what it's called on Google. Where it's more of just the meat and like a gravy. Yeah, and they eat it with potatoes. Whereas Midwestern has like elbow macaroni and hamburger, probably like stewed tomatoes, and like maybe chopped up like shredded carrots or something like that.
Interesting. Interesting. I find this to be very interesting.
I think the difference probably would be whether it has noodles in it. Noodles, like macaroni. Okay, yeah, so that's more of the... Are you from the Midwest? Because I don't think I have had it or know anyone in Arizona who has had it the way I had it when I was a kid. Michigan, okay, yeah. Yeah. I think they use the word goulash as more of like just a mix of stuff. Okay, so maybe just America. I don't know. Like I said, I've never, I don't think had it here in Arizona, and I don't think I know anyone who has ever made it or eaten it like that. Bye, Omicron. Have a good day.
We're nearing the end. The end, folks. And I really should be drinking some water right now. Only 5 more left.
Do you want to keep going? Do you want me to see if Gabe can come in and?
Yeah, if you
Finish
don't
this up?
mind. I just want to
Or-
finish these guys up.
Okay.
And if you got that meeting, Gabe and I can polish up the rest of the stream.
Gabe, are you here?
I'm assuming he's not in that meeting.
No. Close. Look at that.
Ask and you shall
Ask
receive.
and you shall receive.
I wish you would responded because I would ask you to grab the big drive because I'm gonna need it.
Okay.
Dude,
Bye,
that's a
everybody. I'm
long
going to leave you
trip.
in the very capable hands of Gabe, the man of many names.
We got a J. Boom.
Chat, we're about to get
All right.
crazy. Don't tell
Let's.
Jen.
We're about to turn it down. We're about to turn it down.
No, we're
Not-
turning things up.
We're turning it up.
Turning it up.
Turn down. For what?
How's the painting going?
It's good.
I was only half paying attention
Well, I had a whole
because I
lot
was
of.
doing my job. For those of you who tell me to go back to work, you know.
Don't listen to him, chat. He's a liar.
Let me reject him. Yeah. How many go bags are you allowed to give away, Jason?
Oh no, they're giving away stuff.
Yeah.
Immediately start
Yep.
giving away.
We're giving away 5? 5 go bags?
Yeah.
I'm feeling 5.
I think they set aside like 16
yeah.
of them.
It was
It's crazy.
10.
Hey!
Oh,
You heard it
yeah.
here first, Jason.
They can't see anything. This is not me. So this is the studio. So we do our live broadcast. This is Jordan, our studio artist.
Hello.
Gabe, our producer and marketing guy. So he does all our graphic creation and things like that. Also the guy that maintains all this stuff. Then we have it set up to where we can do games on the gaming table. We have a podcast kind of set up. And this is the day part of it.
Ooh. I don't drop everything. Alrighty. So, Quicksilver, you did ask, Baby J, have you ever painted historical models? No. But I want to. I picked up some models, some
Historical,
historical
like-
miniatures.
Like, what do you mean? What's a historical model?
Like a World War II,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
depiction of a character or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Cool. That's sick.
Or like a Roman legionnaire, right? Like I have a couple of 75 millimeter scale miniatures that are a legion standard, like a Roman legion standard bearer. and like a Roman Legion like Cataphractii
That's cool.
captain or whatever.
Yep. So would it be safe to say that you think about Rome a lot?
Shut up, Gabe. Oh my god. How many times do you think about Rome every day?
It's so dumb.
Like
I love it.
10. Y'all can ask Gabe about that one. He can explain it for you.
It's a good one. One day, BattleTech.
BattleTech is not historical. But I have painted some BattleTech.
Depends on who
models.
you ask.
That's true.
It's future histories.
We're getting close here. How's your day going, Gabe? Everyone's hearing about my day. How's your day?
My day's pretty good. I've been in design land,
Yeah.
getting assets ready for some fancy new colors that we have.
Heyo.
Some labels so they
this
can be
guy
made.
dropping knowledge in chat.
So they can be made. Been working on some game stuff, which is always fun, you know. Taking assets together, getting them ready for shenanigans. Yeah, lots of things that today's been a lot of on the DL stuff today, which is always fun.
A lot of stuff we can't
You
talk
know?
about.
A lot of fun stuff. Route the Great, yes, new colors. That's stuff we can talk about because we've shown it on stream a lot. But
Yeah, he's working on getting some of the fluorescent stuff
yeah,
situated.
fluorescents.
Because
Some
we
cool
know you
fluorescent
want to have
colors.
them.
Yeah, and they look really cool. I love the way they're coming out on graphical sides of
You
things.
would, Mr. Design Guy.
I know. It's so fun.
Jeez.
Some cool stuff. Quicksilver said, I think it would be interesting to see Procol paints used for historical miniatures, when generally Vallejo's the go-to line for historicals.
Yeah, a lot of people go to Vallejo just because they have like color-coded things for
Right.
like that whole community is very like specific about the minutia of the color. Like they need a very specific hue. And those colors are typically color coded, and you can find the historical like color like hex codes or whatever for it. So and Vallejo predominantly was a historical line for a very long time. So they make all those colors.
Yeah.
They have
Heck
the
yeah.
like German uniform gray and stuff, right? Or the Hull brown.
Oh gosh. Nah. Yikes.
Yikes, route.
Wait. Oh.
What?
The hard drive's here.
No, we need the
Other
big
one.
one too.
Where? Oh, okay. No, gotcha. Oh, I gotcha. Chat, if you didn't know, it's actually a half-mile walk from our office to this studio. We
I
just
was just trying to save Gabe some
sprint it.
calories, you know.
We sprint it.
Make
That's
him,
why it
make
takes
him
us.
keep some calories.
So it takes us 10 seconds to walk down the hallway. I mean,
It takes us at least 25 seconds to walk down the hallway.
half a minute?
Could take a minute.
No. No way. Not even close. Does it take a minute?
Depends on who you see between there and then.
No. We'll time it. My guess is 10 seconds.
Is it me walking or you walking?
Either of us.
Or how about we get a third party?
I walk quickly, so probably like 8 to 9 seconds for me. If I was dawdling, maybe 15.
I see how it is.
It's fast. It's like 20 steps. I mean, it's half a mile. We work hard for
They
this.
get it right. It's half a mile.
Yeah. We work real hard. half our day is just walking to and from the studio. It's crazy. If you forget something, it's like your day's gone. You know?
Yeah, you just spend your whole day like trying to get back to even being able to functionally do stuff. So difficult. We are such goobers, by the way.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all over there in chat didn't realize.
We're silly. We like to have silly times. So, I know most of the rest of the world gets to have fall right now, and it's very sad that we don't. But Jordan and the office has been, I wouldn't say they haven't been making fun of me, but more questioning me on why I'm wearing a sweatshirt when it's 100 degrees outside right now.
Have I been questioning you?
Not questioning. It's like
I just made a note of it.
it's in that note area, and you're like, huh. It's one of those things where it's like, good for you. I'd never do that. You know, it's that
What's wrong
wrong.
with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. It's just cozy.
It's just cozy.
It's cozy, and because we don't get fall, we have summer. We have cold summer, and then we have 2 weeks of
Yeah,
spring fall.
true.
Then it goes back to cold summer again, and then regular summer. But when it starts to cool off, you gotta take advantage of it.
Speak for yourself, dude.
You gotta take advantage of it.
Speak for yourself. I'm just saying, speak for yourself. Because, not all of us get to have cool experiences like cool weather, okay? In a hot climate.
Yeah. Lumberjack team, you need to move to here, to Phoenix,
Oh, God.
where it's hot. Some people like the heat more than they like the cold, which is fair. I think that I've heard about people not being able to go outside
Because it's so
because
hot.
it's so cold. No, because it's cold.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cold. When it's cold, man.
Yeah.
Having lived
That's when I wear shorts all the time.
in a very cold climate, I can attest that you just don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
Makes getting up in the morning really difficult
Yeah.
too.
I had a buddy who lived in the mountains in Montana, and he said for like 2 weeks out of the year, you just don't go outside.
Which,
Just-
I mean, to be fair, is true for us.
cold.
During the
75 is-
summer, you just
75
don't
is
go
too cold.
outside.
75 is too cold for you, Lumberjack Tin. Then yeah, negative degrees is not fun. Bye, you can go outside no matter how cold it gets. I mean, yeah, for sure. You can. Should you? But I don't know. Maybe because, when it gets 116 out here, people are like, you're crazy. Why are you going outside? But I'm not like, running around for 7 hours outside. Just quick.
Okay, this color, not gonna work.
I also, being in Arizona pretty much my whole life, didn't realize how many places didn't have like cold air conditioners
In Arizona?
in
Or is it
the
outside
world.
Arizona? Oh, yeah.
Like, because you're like, oh yeah, everyone's got an AC.
Imagine it being this hot and hotter, no AC.
Right.
In
That's
a
awful.
place where your building is designed to retain heat.
Yeah. That sounds terrible.
Because it's cold 80% of the year.
It's true. I don't know if heat stroke is definitely a real thing, but
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
but
Be real careful with that.
like heat stroke is only really a problem when you're like doing active things, right? I feel like if I just go out and sit in the cold, if I just sit on a bench in the cold, I could die. If it's cold enough, you could just die.
Yeah.
But if it's super hot out,
That'll still happen.
you just get a little not like, I don't feel like it'd be as quick.
Hypothermia will kill you very fast.
Yes, but when it's hot outside, I'm saying.
I
Like
know.
if I just went and sat outside when it's super hot out, it's not gonna be. I mean, as long as you have like water with you, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is like water will help curb a lot of that
Yeah.
and make you survive worse temperatures. But I mean, it's still not great.
Chili for sure. Is this for 30K?
Yep. Yes, it is.
It's cool.
All right.
Streaming in the middle of the day is always, because I've got it up, and it always makes me really want to paint in the middle of the day.
What?
And by the time work's done,
Oh, this?
just to paint in general. But by the time work's done, my brain gets so distracted. I'm like, oh, this thing. Oh, this thing. And I never get around to it. Sad time.
That feels like it's way too white.
What do you mean?
This highlight. Let me zoom in. This feels too white.
Oh, white.
Yeah.
You said white. Okay. I think you said it looks too wet, and I was like, what? Too white. Maybe a little.
Okay. Let's try a different thing.
I mean, you could always go back and like. I feel like if you threw like a
This has got to be the final step.
glaze over it.
Not gonna do anything else after that.
Well, I mean, you're gonna paint it though.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. This is like the armor will be done, minus the overall.
Not
filter.
even gonna throw a little bit of that wash on it.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do the not oil wash for sure.
I feel like that'll help. I think that's a perfect color then.
Or just use faded green, just like the perfect color for this. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Although I have the impression that this is gonna look like. Whoop! Fuck.
Oh, so we can't see it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Still can't see it.
Oh no, we go. Yeah, that's like pretty much the same color ish. It's a little warmer. Yeah, that probably works. It's like warmer enough. Here's the comparison.
Oh yeah, I like that other one way better.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna
So what's the color scheme you're going with here?
so this is like an amalgamation of colors. It's like a bunch of mixes basically. But this final color is faded green. I'm even gonna put a little bit of pale yellow in there. So faded green and pale yellow, plus some glaze and wash medium.
I mean, like the whole model.
Oh, for Sons of Horus?
Yeah, like what? Well, yeah, I'm unfamiliar
With Sons of Horus?
with the colors.
So they're like a deep sea green color. The studio colors for them it's this color right here. This is what the studio version
Okay.
color is. Right?
Cool.
This is too blue for me.
Yeah.
I think that this color is way more interesting.
Yep.
But it still has some of that like deep blue, right, in it.
Yep.
So that's that kind of the idea.
I like it.
And then you knock it down a bunch.
Oh,
and you get it to like this like grungy color, right? Or you
Oh,
get-
so the stuff you've been painting. Okay, cool. I got you.
yeah, it's these guys, right? So you do the weathering, you do all the stippling and stuff, and then you bring it back down to like a really reasonable
Sick.
place.
I like it.
All right, so I'm mixing up this color right here, which is way warmer, which I like a lot.
It's a nice color.
So, oh god, I'm making a mess. We're gonna go through, we're gonna do these final highlights on these things, and then we're gonna be done. Because I still gotta do some stuff today. I'm sure Gabe is in a similar-ish boat. Unless you are done for the day, in which case,
There's always stuff to do.
that's true. That's kind of how it is, right?
That's
You're
how
like,
it is.
I may not have stuff that I gotta like get done before the end of the day, but like, there's always stuff to do.
Yep. But it's always like fun stuff to do.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like when I'm in that position, I'm like doing things like working on our games and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is something that I don't get as much time to work on as I would necessarily like,
Yeah.
just because I have, you know, day-to-day priorities, right? So, but I love what I do on a day-to-day, so that doesn't really hurt, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's cool. It's like we have enough time to get the stuff done we want to get done, or we need to get done, but then the stuff that's like, hey, this would be cool if we did this. When you're done with that, with the stuff you need to get done, you can do that stuff. It's all fun. It's all cool stuff. We do cool stuff.
Oh shit! That's really bright. Use the fumble here. Okay, I'm zooming back out so you guys can see what I'm doing. There's
We
not.
just see a bunch of green army men.
Yep.
Which is 100% something I could see Christopher doing for an army like this. Just they're green. They're army men. That looks pretty cool.
The highlight.
Yup. Looking good.
Be careful when I do it like really harsh. Alright, I'm gonna move these out of the way so I can actually put my arm there.
Yeah.
This is like blocking the area where my arm would normally go, the paint. So. And on the tank, this is going to be really subtle too, because I'm not going to use a lot of it. It's going to be like stuff like this, right where I go.
What did Jen pick red today? Does anyone know? For her light.
I don't know.
Maybe
She was feeling it.
more on the dark side of Lord Commander.
Okay. Something is amiss. There we go. Okay. There we go. Ah!
Wow. Just a fumbly day today.
Yeah, so it's a rough day today. And see how I'm using the shape of the tank,
Yep.
to get these highlights in. And it's almost like edge highlighting with an airbrush, right? Is kind of the way that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is a great side shot. Let me hit the back here. And the idea is I don't want to change the color too much because I really want that green to come through. So I'm trying to be as minimal as possible at this step.
I'm actually curious, Tim, if you're still there, do you airbrush like when you park for the night? Do you have like a setup in your truck, or do you do it like when you get home?
My guess is at home. I imagine it'd be very difficult to do in the truck.
Yeah. But who knows?
But maybe, yeah, maybe. All right. We got that done.
You could set it up in the truck? That's cool. I'm more thinking less about power and more about like just like airing it out, you know, just spraying paint. And if you have enough space to set up like a booth.
Probably just opens the windows.
Yeah. I paint at the kitchen counter, so I have to use a booth, or else I would be.
Your wife gets mad.
I'd be stricken on the spot. It'd be the wrath of my wife.
Yeah, I can't imagine your wife would be particularly excited about it.
No.
You guys have nice countertops too?
They're okay. I mean, we're in an apartment, so don't really want to get paint on
Anything.
it anyways, but
Yeah, you don't want to get paint on anything.
yeah. That makes sense. How many dudes you got there, Jordan?
20 dudes
20
in
dudes.
a tank. 20 dudes in a tank.
I like it.
I'm concerned that this is a little bit bright, but we'll see what it looks like when all the wash is on it.
Yeah.
Because this is like one of those things where it kind of looks funky at this stage, but that final like wash over the whole thing can help kind of kill some of this brightness. This part goes so fast.
I've not seen your setup in the truck, but you should definitely
Post a photo.
post a photo. Would the same airbrush process work for organics too, like for a group of barbarians or a pack of Skaven?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, I do an airbrush process similar with I did dwarves for Age of Sigmar, Fire Slayers. Their skin kind of to build up similar. Did a few colors, dark color, lighter, then lighter, then lighter, then lightest. I really liked how it came out because I feel like whenever I paint skin, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of this, especially because there's so much skin.
The way I like doing skin with an airbrush is I'll do the gradient, and then I'll throw like a flesh wash over it.
Yeah.
And I do it that way so that it's like, if I'm doing like fast, right? If I'm airbrushing for something that's like nice, then I'll usually just hand paint the skin usually.
Yeah.
I'll airbrush the other parts of the model, and then I'll do the last part by hand, which will generally be the skin. Unless the model is like predominantly skin, and then I'll airbrush the skin.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out what tomorrow's thing looks like. Alright, chat. That's pretty much everything. Well, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for hanging out. We are going to be raiding somebody here very shortly. Don't forget, you can find us so many different places. We stream here 5 days a week. For those of you who are new, we stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 12 to 2, like today. Today is our Wednesday lunch stream. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays we stream from 2 to 5. So if you want to join us tomorrow, we'll be streaming at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That is the time that we do all of our streams at. And make sure to come join us. Hit the follow button if you have not yet already.
Do it. Do it. I dare you.
Gabe was so generous to put a bunch of links here for us. We've got the Discord link from Tim, actually.
Yeah.
It's a great place for you to hang out with us and learn all about painting. Hang out with people in the community. Share the wonderful things that you guys are painting. We have a huge community over there. We run Discord challenges every month. All sorts of stuff. It's great. If you want to pick up any of the paints that we've been using here on stream, like this fantastic warm flesh color, all of our paints, we are a paint manufacturer, Monument Hobbies, and we sell everything on our website, monumenthobbies.com. If you live outside of the United States, or you want to find a local store to pick stuff up at, our FLGS link is a great place for you to go to find a local store near you that carries our paints. We partner with hundreds of stores around the country and outside of the country to bring paints to your doorstep or to a doorstep nearby. And then our YouTube, so we post all of our fun video content.
Heck yeah.
Like our shorts, which you probably see pop up in your feed all the time, as well as our long form YouTube videos that are more focused on tutorial content, things like that. So thanks everybody for being here. We'd love to have you. Thank you for bearing with us while we went through a bunch of airbrush fixing. But we hopefully you learned a lot, because I did. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and find somebody to raid. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.